June 8, 1918. A huge German offensive moves west towards Paris. Near the town of Neuville-Vitasse, all but one of Corporal Joseph Kaeble's machine gun units have been wounded or killed. A company of 50 German soldiers rush towards him. Their orders are to break through the Allied line. Joseph Kaeble is all that stands in their way. Joseph Kaeble is born May 4th, 1892, in the French-Canadian village of Saint-Moïse, Quebec. When war breaks out in 1914, Kaeble enlists. After several months of training, he ships overseas with the 22nd Battalion. He says goodbye to his young brother at the station.
He was very important to the family because he was the oldest and he was working, making some money. They were very poor. And my father, he was the only one who could see him at the train station because there were so many people. My Uncle Joseph said to him, take care of mother and my little sister Ursule.
Kaeble serves for 2 years in trenches of Western Europe. He is wounded and receives the military medal for bravery, but he is eager to return to the front lines. He gets his chance. In 1918, communist revolutionaries sign a peace treaty with Germany, ending Russian involvement in the war. The Germans no longer have to fight on 2 fronts.
And over 64 divisions were freed from the Eastern Front and sent back to the Western Front. The Germans were very successful, very high casualties on both sides, but they were forcing their way through, and they were about 40 miles from Paris.
June 8, 1918. The Canadian 22nd Battalion occupies a defensive position near the French town of Neuville-Vitasse. The Germans launch a furious barrage of artillery that lasts for 30 minutes. Corporal Joseph Kaeble's small machine gun unit is hit hard. All but one are killed or wounded. When the barrage lifts, 3 companies of German troops storm the battered Allied trenches. 50 of those troops are headed directly toward Corporal Joseph Kaeble.
And of course the Germans bombarded them with shells and mortars, hand grenades, if they got close enough. And when these 50 Germans came towards them in a gap in the wire, he jumped over, and he was an expert shot, and firing from the hip mowed most of them down.
And he was shooting at them. The German thought, you know, this is not a human, this is a machine.
Kaeble is wounded by shell and grenade fire. Still, he keeps firing. Both his legs are broken, his body bleeding in a dozen places. But the Germans are no longer advancing on his position. They are retreating. Kaeble keeps firing. On his back, barely conscious, Joseph Kaeble finds the strength to raise his machine gun over his head. He fires one more burst at retreating German troops.
He He was wounded, and he kept saying to the other guys, keep firing, we have to stop them. That's what we hear the most about him, that he was wounded, and he kept talking to the guys and encouragement with them.
The next night, June 9th, 1918, Corporal Joseph Kaeble dies of his wounds. He is 26 years old. On the front line, the German advance is stopped. The end of the war is now in sight.
The individual courage of people like the corporal that won the battle on the trench warfare. And again, they did not think of themselves, but protecting their comrades and the reputation of the regiment and defeating the enemy.
As a boy, Joseph Kaeble told his mother that one day he would make her proud. That promise is fulfilled on December the 16th, 1918, when Mrs. Kaeble is presented with her son's Victoria Cross.
I was told that before they award such medals, there's an investigation. They go around. They're asking questions, and it takes a lot of proof that whatever he did was good enough to deserve that medal. There's no doubt in my mind that he really deserved it.
Joseph Kaeble is buried in a little French village a few kilometers from where he fell.
Nobody in the family had ever been there. We've heard about that ever since we were little, you know. And then we went to France and said, we've got to find the place, and we did. I had the feeling my uncle was telling us, you know, it's about time somebody from the family came, you know.
When we look at pictures of him, he was a very nice-looking man, and from what I hear again from my aunt and father, he was a very brave guy. You know, there was nothing that could stop him from doing something, and I hope we get a little bit of that in the family.
He was a brave soldier, maybe more brave than others, maybe. But I think that all soldiers are brave. He did something special, which maybe others didn't, but I think that all people that went to war are very brave people and very special people, and that we should recognize that.
Attention men and women ages 40 to 75. Have you received this